had some really good kicks in there, kept us in it. Ultimately didn't make enough plays to win this game. That's a really good football team. That team's going to play late into this season. We put ourselves in position. It felt like we were competing, we were playing the right way, and we just came up short. And we didn't make enough plays when it mattered most. And they made some plays. They got some really good players that made some plays, and we missed our opportunities when we had them. And so, our guys, we got to just keep on going. We got to keep going. We got to keep battling. We missed 4 ops, and you're given 13 more of these, and we just got to keep getting better and put ourselves in good position.
What was your perspective on the roughing the kicker penalties?
Yeah, I haven't got the perfect look at it yet to evaluate it properly. Obviously, we were being aggressive there, trying to make a play, and we were just short. We just missed it, and those are challenging situations.
You seemed like you were talking to the officials about it for a minute. Like, did you think it was potentially running into the kicker versus roughing? Was that the discussion?
No, I was just talking with them about just everything that was going on in that play. All good.
I know that winnings don't mean it really matters, but you feel like you were closer today than you've been all season as far as just an all-around game that the team played.
I felt like we competed. We competed in all 3 phases for 4 quarters, and opportunities are going to present yourself. That's what this league's about. You're going to have opportunities, and you got to take advantage of them. And I think there certainly were ones that we took advantage of, just not enough. And so, we had our opportunities late in that game to put ourselves in positive situations, and we just weren't able to come up with it. And so, credit to those guys. They made the plays when they had to, and they took advantage of them.
How much of the idea behind White wanted to run like the Philly special style play down there?
Yeah, just felt like I had the look. Had kind of an ability to get out of it if it wasn't the right look. Felt good about it. We were close, and obviously that's a frustrating one for us to come up short on, just because it felt like the end of the half we were managing that thing pretty well to finish off some points and then get the ball in the second half.
Did Crystal, they have another option there? If the pass had been there, did he have another?
Yeah, there's another route coming from the other side.
How much of the emphasis on the run was what you guys just wanted to do fundamentally, identity, or just matchup specific? Because Buffalo.
Every week's going to be different. Every week's going to present different challenges. Certainly, we know the importance of being able to run the football in this league, in both phases and both sides of the football. And so, I felt like there were some steps there. There was some progress. I thought Kendra and Alvin, both those guys just ran really, really hard. Spence used his legs a couple times. Shahid, he had a couple perimeter runs, and so I felt like there was a lot of positives with that, with the execution in the run game.
And Kellen, we talked a lot about penalties all games this season, but how pleased were we with today? I think it was 4 you finished with.
Yeah, there's 4. So obviously we made progress. The bummer is, you get 3 in special teams, and they all kind of impact the game, in drastic spots. And so felt like the pre-snap was better, the post-snap was better. We had a couple critical ones in there that were unfortunate.
Josh Allen made some plays in the 4th quarter. Obviously, he's the MVP. What can you say about the job that he does, and especially in those kind of critical situations? How special is he?
Yeah, Josh is the MVP of this league for a reason. He's a really special player. His composure is like no other in this league. His ability to execute in crunch time and in critical situations. He's done an excellent job for a number of years now, and so he was able to make plays. And you give him just that little bit of a rushing lane, and he's going to take it, and he's going to buy time, and he's going to make passes, and he's going to use his legs when he has to late in the game.
How do you view the you've been close 3 times now to these 4 losses, but there's been opportunities kind of right there that you guys have kind of missed out on? Do you feel good about having the opportunities being there, or do you want you guys to execute? How do you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we're in it. It's very frustrating, I think, for all of our guys to feel like you're that close, and you got to feel the taste of it. Feel the taste of executing in those critical situations to succeed and to find a way to win one of these. And so, while there are positives within this, the ultimate goal has yet to be achieved in a game, and so we're striving for that, and we need to get there.
What did you like in this game going into this game about the under the center game plan? It seemed like a lot of under center reps for what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, we felt like just going into this game plan, felt like it presented itself, good opportunity, combination of opponent and ourself, being able to use your cadence a little bit more on the road. I think there was some value to that.
You kind of touched on it, but how important was it just to see this type of response from your team given what happened last week?
Yeah, I certainly think you got to give our players credit for how they responded. Last week got away from us. Our guys, they had the opening drive. They went right down the field and scored. Had a lot of momentum. That's a tough place to play up here, and so our guys settled in. They competed for 4 quarters. They battled. Our group sticks together. I appreciate that. we're right there, and obviously we know there's steps that need to be made to get better and put ourselves in better position. We got to finish one of these, but we just got to keep growing. That's our only choice.
Was the plan to get Quincy into the game, or was that a reaction to how things went in the first?
No, kind of similar to last week. Yeah, opportunities for him as well still.
How would you describe the mood in the locker room? Was it sort of like what you said, like a little frustrated, but you kind of know you're close?
Everyone's competing in the highest level of football, and there's frustration when you come up short. And so for us to come up short 4 straight times, there's a lot of frustration associated with that. But I think the messaging by our players, by our staff, the consistency by everyone's approach gives me hope and optimism that we're going to keep getting better, and we're going to find a way to get into the positive side of these games. And so we're just going to keep on going. I love these guys, and we're just going to keep competing. We'll be back at home this week and be ready to roll.
How are you dealing with? How are you dealing with? You are 0-4. Like you're going through this for the first time as a head coach. Just where are you kind of at? Like,
yeah, I think we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. We go through this journey together. That's what coaches and organizations and players and everyone does the same. And so we're all in this thing together. We all have our frustrations. We all want this really, really bad. We're battling. We're putting a lot of time and effort into this thing, and we got to find a way to get on the right side of this thing.
What do you think of some of the plays Jonas made on the ball today?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Jonas is a player that we think very highly of. I thought he played in some really contested situations, battled, playing against some of the premier players. Their tight end group is as good as anyone in this league. Those guys are special players, and so for him to compete the way he did, there's a lot of excitement around him.
And then can you get into just how beneficial it was for y'all today to have Spencer and the ability of using his legs to create plays? And it seemed like a number of big plays came from that.
Yeah, I thought his legs came alive. I thought he did some really good stuff with that. By design and also in the scramble phase, and I think that's a critical aspect of this thing. That's a really good defense. They play just with incredible effort, and they give you a lot of different looks, and they're going to challenge you schematically. And so for him, when the opportunity presented itself to recognize the rushing lanes, I thought was really good. It put us in some really positive situations, and so something he can continue to utilize.
Do you have an update on the season?
I don't. Potentially, we'll see how this thing goes. I'll get a little bit of clarity, give you a better answer probably tomorrow once we go through the medical exams.
Was Bailey kind of a similar thing to Penning last week, up but not kind of an emergency type?
He had some opportunities, obviously, as the week kind of went, and so just the way the game played, we ended up playing in some tempo. And when you play in the tempo situations, when you're behind a little bit, the guys are going to tend to stay on the field, and we're not going to get as many personnel packages, so he'll be fine.
What about this matchup opened the door for Christian Boyd to get, it seemed like a pretty healthy amount of time today?
Yeah, it was good to see him out there. Obviously, he had a phenomenal preseason. I thought he was really productive. Coming off the injury, had to navigate some of that, and so there was patience with that from his standpoint. I thought he went out there and battled, and I'm excited to see the film and see how it all went down.
How much of having your starting offensive line, at least in the first half of the game, kind of unlocked that running game? You think, just the 5 you wanted to go through the season?
That's a good question. Obviously, that was the 5 guys we anticipated. We know this league there's lots of twists and turns, and we've played a lot of different combinations up front, and we may have to in the future, and so we'll just continue to build that. I think those guys, the more they rep things together, I thought it was the most awesome thing was seeing Trevor out there playing guard. I thought his physicality as the game went on, he just became more and more comfortable out there, and I thought there was a lot of positives on his side.
How did you think just Spencer did overall? You mentioned the run game, his legs, but just passing and handling the ball.
Yeah, I thought Spence battled. He's right there. I thought his legs came alive. Obviously, from a pass game perspective, we had a couple opportunities we're close on. We just didn't get it done. So.
Only one passing attempt for more than 20 yards, at least in one first view with all this.
Yeah.
What is it that's kind of limiting the downfield attack in the offense?
Yeah, we just got to find different opportunities for it. And so, obviously, we ran the football a lot on first and second down. There's a lot of positives there, and we just got to find a way to get downfield a little bit more. I thought a couple of the designer action shots, the deeper shots, Spence ended up using his legs, and so those were positives in there.
We had opportunities. Thought we played much better than last week. Obviously, it's a really good team, and credit to them. They took advantage of their opportunities, and we just fell a little short. We ran the ball really, really well. We're moving it up and down the field. Kind of stalled out in the red zone that last drive, second half, and there was a few moments in that game where we could have taken it over, and just doesn't always go your way. So credit to them, they played well.
What kind of response did you notice from Kellen this week after a loss like that one? And was there anything he did that you feel like I don't know if inspired is the right word for professionals, but like got the guys together to block in for this game?
Yeah, I mean, we just knew we had to get better. You know, we knew we had a big test this week and couldn't play like we did last week. So, you know, penalties were way down. Ran the ball really well, best that we have all year, and that was our game plan. And we moved the ball well. You know, that's a good team that's going to be playing, you know, late on in the year, in January, February. So, a lot of bright spots, but still, you know, moments to clean up, and you know, me, everybody. So.
Do you feel like you're close, and is that more encouraging or frustrating?
It's frustrating, you know, because these teams, you know, we're in these games, and you know, just got to close them out. It's frustrating, but you know, we know who we are, we know what we can be, and there's 13 more games left to show that. So whatever happens going forward, we're just going to keep working, keep building, and keep progressing. That's it.
Could you take us through your perspective on the Philly special play and maybe what went wrong there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was what it was. I mean, you guys saw it. It was a tough play. You know, Chris isn't a quarterback, and I don't put the blame on him.
Is that the kind of play to where, I'm not trying to drum up anything here, but I'm just curious, just for you from like a competitive standpoint, is that the kind of play to where it's like you'd almost rather the ball in your hands as a quarterback in that moment?
Yeah, you know, I trust Kellen to call the right play. You know, had the right look, and the play looked great. For the last 2 weeks, we've repped it, and you know, I was ready to catch it in the end zone, but you know, I trust what Kellen's calling, and the play was set up for success.
How much do you think your legs also opened up the run game, and do you think that was a factor in getting that going?
That's something I'm, you know, happy about today. Is I came into the game wanting to use my legs more, and you know, that got them on their heels a little bit early in the game and opened up some stuff for us. And you know, especially on third down, I think that's crucial. You know, you see we extended drives that way, and sometimes you got to do that. And was happy about that. You know, obviously wish there was more, you know, to build on, but thought we moved the ball well.
Does a loss completely ruin the birthday, or how does that happy birthday?
It's football, man. It's football. You know, you want a birthday dub, you want a dub every time, but this is the game we play, and you got to keep stacking, keep building brick by brick, no matter what the outcome is.
What's the challenge on that play to Cooks? Looked like you had to try to fit it into.
Yeah, no, I made the check to that route. It was wide shell, and there was no pressure. Nodded him, and you know, it was the look, and I ripped it early, and you know, wish it was a little higher. And you know, I thought he made a hell of a catch. I thought it was a catch, but you know, they reviewed it and it wasn't. So you know, that's tough. You want to hit that, but on to the next.
We've talked a lot about the explosive passing game not being there, but what do you think the key to getting Rashid Shaheed going a little bit, even if those shots aren't there? Is there anything you're seeing with that?
Yeah, I mean, just get the ball in his hands in space. I mean, the jets, you know, quick routes, you know, stuff over the top. You know, they did a good job in third down today, and 3rd and 7+ of, you know, making us hot a few times, and had to get the ball out. But, you know, Shaheed's a great player, obviously, and we want to give him the ball more, you know.
What did you see from Trevor Penning just making his first debut at left guard?
Yeah, it was great. You know, great to have him back out there. He's been excited to get back. He's been working his tail off to get back, and you know, you feel a sense of security when all 5 of those guys are out there. They did a great job today. You know, kept me clean for most of the game, and they battled. They battle every week. You know, I'll roll with those guys every single time.
Having those 5, do you think that's like one of the reasons your run game started clicking? Is like this is the group that you guys wanted to have?
Yeah. I mean, those guys were blocking their butts off and leaning on them. We were running the ball. I don't know how many yards we rushed for, but it was a lot. And you know, Kendra ran the ball well. AK ran the ball well. You know, the run game was definitely there today. So that's a good feeling.